all across America and around the world. This is Veterans Radio. This is Veterans Radio.
Welcome to Veterans Radio. I am Jim Fausone. I'm the officer of the deck today. We've got some great programs for you. I think you'll find very interesting. We always want to remind you can find more about Veterans Radio at its Facebook site or by going to veteransradio.net, where we're on the web 24/7. You can find a lot of our podcasts there as well. We post new ones every Tuesday, so you can get a new story, a new interview, something you didn't know before by going to veteransradio.net. And before we get started, we want to thank our sponsors. First up, we want to thank National Veteran Business Development Council, NVBDC.org. It was established to certify both service-disabled and veteran-owned businesses. You'll find out how they can help your business by going to NVBDC.org. We also want to thank Eisenhower Center. It's a brain injury recovery center. Learn more about EisenhowerCenter.com. They're located in Michigan and in Florida. We want to thank Legal Help for Veterans. Legal Help for Veterans fights for veterans' disability rights all across the nation. You can reach them at 800-693-4800 or on the web at legalhelpforveterans.com. Contact us if you'd like to be a sponsor on Veterans Radio, and let's move on to our program. Welcome, I am Jim Fausone, and this is Veterans Radio's Spotlight on National Veteran Business Development Council, NVBDC.org. Veterans Radio America, Inc. is a nonprofit and has a partnership with NVBDC, which is also a 501c3 nonprofit. The National Veteran Business Development Council is the nation's leading third-party authority for certification of veteran-owned businesses of all sizes. It really addresses the growing need to identify and certify both service-disabled and veteran-owned businesses for the corporate or commercial marketplace as well as the government. NVBDC administers a rigorous certification process designed to withstand the scrutiny of governmental and corporate entities seeking to utilize certified and verifiable veteran-owned businesses. And we want to welcome back to Veterans Radio Keith King, founder and CEO of NVBDC. Keith, it's been an interesting year for everybody, and we wanted to catch up with you and just find out, hey, how has the year gone for NVBDC and for veteran-owned businesses?
Well, thank you, Jim, and it's always good to be back with you. You know, the remarkable growth that we have experienced these really last 2 years continued in 21. So in the sense of both not only the number of corporate supporters or corporate members, but also the number of certified veteran-owned businesses. I think that part of what's going on now is the realization that the skills of our veterans, the skills that our veteran-owned businesses can bring to the table in many cases are unique because of their military training and, of course, the acceptance of the NVBDC certification standards. We are getting quite a few calls from our potential corporate members saying, hey, we keep hearing that you guys have a very vigorous and a very complete certification program. Why don't you talk to me about that? So by the time we get done explaining what we do, it's generally pretty much saying, yeah, okay, you guys meet all of our standards, and we're pleased to welcome in as new members.
Well, it's not surprising that once they learn about you and understand the rigorous standards that you apply to make sure that folks really are veteran-owned businesses, that they say, yeah, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been looking for. I'm not surprised your corporate members are saying that, and we've been fortunate on doing this spotlight to talk to a number of your corporate members, and they're really thrilled with not only the certification process, but the unique networking that NVBDC does between corporate partners and veteran-owned businesses. Maybe you want to talk about that a little bit, because I really think that's the hidden gem.
Well, what we have done in the sense of these conversations, Jim, that when we created this, the idea was to provide opportunities not only to my generation of veterans, but all the generations of veterans who followed us. So what we've been able to do in that sense is have a corporation come to us and tell us, in essence, what kind of skills, what kind of talent, what kind of product. Tell me what you're looking for. And because we are a national organization, and because we've actually have, over the years certified somewhere close to 1,500 veteran businesses at this point, we have a pretty healthy way of going into the market and finding people and saying, hey, if you do, whatever they're looking for, let us know, and we'll put you in touch. And we have several examples where we also have the ability to go outside of our certified vets and find the veteran-owned businesses who are not certified by us, but who are capable of doing those jobs. And what we call basically a handshake or an agreement is, look, we'll introduce you to this corporation, and this corporation is going to want you to be certified. Because I think the one point I always like to drive home about our certification when I'm talking to a veteran is being a veteran is not enough. You actually have to show up and run the company.
Absolutely.
And we drive that point home. To me, that is really one of the largest sources of the fraud that, has happened at the government level, has happened even, at the corporate levels. But the point being this, we're looking for the best qualified veteran businesses that we can find, and we can find them, and our corporations want to work with them, then we basically say, okay, the next step is get certified, and then take it from there, because, once they're certified, at least our corporations have the confidence that they're really dealing with a veteran-owned and operated business.
Hey, Keith, one thing I want to catch up on at your end here before the spotlight time runs out is a year ago you and I talked about the National Defense Authorization Act and some things on certification being moved out of VA and over to SBA. Has that progressed over the year?
Yes, and thank you for bringing that up. One of the issues you may remember is that we, the NVBDC, was looking for an opportunity to directly communicate with and be involved in this transition. And I'm pleased to tell you that we have, in fact, been named one of the key stakeholders and veteran advocates for our veteran-owned businesses, and as such, we've already written and submitted some long-term strategies, some performance measures, and putting into play, if you will, those things that we felt needed, one, to be said, secondly, presented to the government and say, look, if you guys are sincere in the sense of improving the certification of our veteran businesses. Because, Jim, the other part of this is, it doesn't get a lot of attention, but I think it's critical, is this whole thing about the government. Congress actually has said they want a standard government-wide service-disabled veteran small business certification program. And we said, well, wait a minute, you're talking only about service disabled. What about veteran owned? Well, the law says service disabled, but what we want now is not just for the VA anymore. we want across all branches of the government. So when we looked at this, we said, well, wait a minute. If you want something now that's going to be outside of just the VA, which we're thankful for, frankly, and you want it government-wide in the sense of these standards, then we want to address what those standards should be. We want to make sure the definition of service disabled, because again, a lot of this stuff seems to be self-evident. It's not.
Yeah, until you have to write it down and look in the specifics and you realize nobody defined the terms.
Well, yeah, and again, that definition, one of the things I have to deal with in our certification program is we'll get a guy saying, oh, I'm service disabled. And we said, fine, give me your letter from the VA and let me see it. Well, the designation of service disabled in many cases is temporary and pending. It's not until it says, yes, you have been,
yeah, they've submitted, but they haven't been awarded the rating. Yeah, they don't have the rating decision.
Well, and again, these are subtleties, but that I think is one of the reasons that when we're talking to our corporate members, when we're even talking to the government, we've had 4 or 5 other agencies of the government reach out to us this last year as well and say, hey, tell us what you're doing, and working with the other agencies we've been working with, both in the states and with the feds, and we'd tell them, and they go, hey, can we get involved? And then I'm negotiating that right now in the sense of, look, we want to make sure that if the government is actually going to put in a certification program, not a verification program, and then you're going to make it government-wide for service disabled only, let's make sure that what you guys are doing meet at least the rules, the regulations, the laws, the CF, all the different things that are in play here, and let us help you. And actually, we actually put together what we call the pillars of corporate certification and said, this is what we do for our corporations. These are the standards our corporations have said to us they want us to follow. And plus then we add, obviously what we call the veteran overlay on top of that, the rules and regulations. And I've actually included that in our response back to the SBA saying, all right, if you're serious about certification, let's take a look here. So,
well, that's really what's
been going on, buddy.
Yeah, that's what's unique, is NVBDC brings us 8 years of on-the-ground, real-world experience of how to do this, and let's hope the government takes advantage of that experience when setting up the program. Yeah, there's a lot that's gone on in the last year. Great to hear about the growth of Veterans Radio, and the partnership with NVBDC is very important to us, and we're always happy to have you on, but we're also always happy to have any of your corporate members on from NVBDC and your veteran-owned business owners. So it's been a great 2021, and we're looking forward to it in 2022.
Well, we are too, and you will be an exclusive. Heard it here first.
That's great.
Intending, and I want to stress that word. We are intending to have our 2 national events. The one with the Federal Reserve, usually in July. And then our national event, which we call our National Veteran Matchmaking Event, first week of November, in 22, we're going to attempt to go live. We're planning on it. So we're going to have live events as opposed to the virtual events in 22. And frankly, we're all excited about getting back together and having our vets and our corporations in the same room at the same time. So wish us luck of COVID.
Aren't we all? We all need to get back in the same room and get some business done. Keith, I really appreciate you taking the time here today to talk to Veterans Radio and update us on what's been going on with NVBDC.
Well, thank you, Jim. We appreciate your guys' support all the way along, and appreciate what you've been able to do with Veterans Radio, and I think we've have a good partnership here, and looking forward to continuing that in 22 as well.
And I want to thank everybody for listening to Veterans Radio today. I am Jim Fausone,
It's been a pleasure to be your host. I'm a veterans disability lawyer at Legal Help for Veterans, and you can reach us at 800-693-4800 or legalhelpforveterans.com on the web. You can follow Veterans Radio on Facebook and listen to its podcasts and internet radio shows by going to veteransradio.net. And until next time, you are dismissed.
If you have a VA claim denied by the Board of Veterans' Appeals, contact Legal Help for Veterans at 1-800-693-4800. They're experts in handling cases before the U.S. Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims. Their number again, 1-800-693-4800.
We again want to thank our national sponsors, the National Veterans Business Development Council, NVBDC.org, Eisenhower Center, VA Ann Arbor Health Care System, the Vietnam Veterans of America Charles S. Kettles Chapter, Ann Arbor, Michigan, VFW Graf O'Hara Post 423 in Ann Arbor, and the American Legion Press Corn Post 46, also in Ann Arbor. They keep us on the air, as does your support. Go to Facebook, go to veteransradio.net, and support our efforts. And until next time, you are dismissed.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.